Chapter 31. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Li Chu was put down by Uche, at this time, Dos Santos looked at Li Chu with resentful eyes. Li. Don't forget, I am the first one to successfully connect with you. Seeing Dos Santos leave without forgetting to say this, Li Chu almost couldn't help laughing. At this time, the DJ of the Ceramic Stadium finally received the technical statistics on the scene. The goal that Li Chu assisted Uche just now, it was only 6 seconds from the start. This goal directly broke the fastest goal record in the world's known professional games. The DJ on the scene was even more excited at this time and cheered with all the fans. Who is the hero who scored for us? You. Che. Who is the hero who scored for us? You. Che. By the way, I have good news for you all. The one who initiated this attack is our newest Yenguo player this season, Li Chu. And Li Chu is the treasure of Castilla. In the youth team match, he led the Real Madrid youth team to defeat Sevilla, and in the match, he also beat the genius Kate. And now, Li Chu is ours. That while getting the data from the technical department, all the information about Li Chu, the hero of this attack, I also came to the DJ at the scene as soon as possible. So, after reading Li Chu's information, the DJ at the Ceramic Stadium couldn't help but get excited. This is fucking, is Real Madrid now so rich that it even gave away a genius like Li Chu? But this is just right, it just happened to be a bargain for us Villarreal. The atmosphere at the scene at this time, it was also driven by the DJ that the game reached its climax. All the fans were shouting excitedly, among them, the handsome Li Chu had actually started to have fans cheering for him. I take back what I said before. The person who can beat Kate must be a genius. That pass just now was very beautiful. Such words slowly began to appear among all Villarreal fans, and many female fans simply didn't care so much. They had long been conquered by Li Chu's handsome appearance. At present, it seems that Li Chu's skills are not bad, and more importantly, he is handsome. Soon, the game started again. Facing the situation of losing the ball at the beginning, Cadiz was naturally quite unwilling. Didn't you Villarreal play in the second division like me in the past 2 years? You can get into the top few in the first division, I can do it in Cadiz. So, under the command of the head coach, after the kickoff, Cadiz played a rare offensive battle with the home team at Villarreal Ceramic Stadium. After seeing Cadiz's move, Carlos was very happy. Before Li Chu joined, Carlos was really afraid that his opponent would fight him hard, but, looking at Li Chu on the field, Carlos waved his hand with full confidence. If you want to fight, I will fight. So, the offensive battle that started at the beginning was staged so suddenly. On the field, after receiving the instructions from the head coach, the players on both sides were involved in the offense at this time. The rhythm on the field suddenly began to speed up. For a while, the offense and defense on the field changed very quickly, and Li Chu, after seeing such a scene, he seemed even more excited, because, such a scene, in Li Chu's eyes. Cadiz's defense is full of loopholes. In the 4th minute of the game, when Cadiz attacked again near Villarreal's penalty area, Li Chu assisted his elder brother Nika to steal Cadiz's football. Then, after receiving Nika's pass, Li Chu started a long-distance attack with the football. He dribbled the ball at high speed from his own half. After running about 50 meters, Li Chu finally came to the vicinity of Cadiz's penalty area. At this time, there was only one defensive player who came up to block Li Chu, the remaining 2 full backs were directly attracted to both sides by Uche and Dos Santos. Facing the only defensive player in front of him, Li Chu had no intention of slowing down at all. He rushed towards the opponent with the football. When the 2 sides were about to contact, Li Chu used the Marseille turn again, easily past the opponent. Then, facing the attacking goalkeeper, Li Chu made 2 consecutive fake moves. Fake shot, what a dunk. Finally, the goalkeeper of Cadiz was flustered. Facing the defensive player coming from behind, Li Chu made an inverted triangle pass. The ball came to the feet of Dos Santos, who had just come from the side, facing an almost empty goal. Opportunity. How could Dos Santos miss such a good opportunity? With a powerful shot, the ball went into the net. 2 o'clock. At the moment of the goal, the entire Ceramic Stadium became a sea of joy again. The fans were cheering for this goal. In fact, originally, when Li Chu started to dribble the ball at high speed from the backcourt, the cheers of the entire ceramic stadium never stopped, especially when Li Chu used the Marseille turn. The cheers of the ceramic stadium had reached the maximum. Finally, when Li Chu selflessly gave the ball to Dos Santos, everyone naturally gave Li Chu the warmest applause. Genius! Li is a genius. A genius 10,000 times stronger than Kate. At this moment, everyone forgot how distrustful they were when they first saw Li Chu. When the ball was scored, the fans of the entire ceramic stadium instantly admitted that they were conquered by Li Chu. And Dos Santos, at this time, he was naturally excited, especially the opportunity just now. It can be said that if Li Chu shot the goal himself, no one would say anything, but, in the end, Li Chu still gave up the chance to score. This made Dos Santos very excited. He directly imitated Uche and carried Li Chu. He came to the south stand of the stadium and let Li Chu accept the cheers of the most hardcore fans of the ceramic stadium. Li, why didn't you kick the ball yourself just now? Because my dominant foot is my right foot, the angle just now was too small. In order to ensure the goal, it is safest to pass it to you. Thank you so much, Li. Wait for this Christmas, I will introduce my sister to you. Ah. Santos, I'm only 18 years old. Haha, that's perfect, my sister likes young guys the most. That the game had only started for less than 6 minutes. On the court, Villarreal led Cadiz by 2 goals in Li Chu's 2 passes, and for this result, Cadiz was naturally quite dissatisfied. So, at the signal of the head coach, Cadiz continued to attack in an all-round way. Seeing that Cadiz on the court was actually going to fight against him, Carlos widened his eyes. What the hell? You are really not afraid of death. So, Carlos naturally signaled the players, continue. Whoever is cowardly is a grandson. For offensive football, no matter where it is, it will be loved by fans. So, the fans at the ceramic stadium were naturally very excited when they saw that both sides were still attacking. Li. Unconsciously, more and more fans at the scene began to cheer when Li Chu received the ball. Not even a game, the cheers belonging to Li Chu were heard at the ceramic stadium. Chapter 32. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When the first half of the game was 20 minutes in, the score on the field was 4-1. Although Cadiz successfully scored a goal, however, Villarreal scored 2 more goals here, and among these 4 goals, 3 of them were directly assisted by Li Chu, and the other one was also after Li Chu's pass broke through Cadiz's defense. Uche passed the ball to Dos Santos, and scored another goal. The game had only started for 20 minutes, Dos Santos had already completed a hat trick. Incredible. It's really incredible. Is this really a game in the A-League? Why does it feel like our Villarreal is playing a friendly match with a 4th-level team? This goal is too easy, right? And for Li Chu, who planned the 4 goals himself, whether it was the DJ on the scene or the fans of the ceramic stadium, at this time, they naturally gave the warmest applause, especially, when the 4th goal was scored. On the big screen at the scene, all 4 goals were replayed directly. The fans in the stadium fully appreciated Li Chu's role in it again. On the Cadiz side, in fact, when the score was 3-1 on the field, the team was already signaled to start defending, at this time, even. If it was another meal, the head coach of Cadiz also understood, the number 7 player of Villarreal, what kind of energy does he have in such a fist-to-flesh offensive battle? You can say that, as long as Cadiz dribbled the ball into Villarreal's half, the best result of the football was to be destroyed out of bounds. If Villarreal intercepted the ball on the spot, then the black-haired boy on the other side, that is, number 7 player Li Chu, he was able to deliver a fatal ball directly in his own half. Where did Villarreal find such a perverted player? This ability, even Pirlo couldn't do better, right? Result, just when Cadiz was shrinking its defense, Li Chu once again showed his talent in attack, after seeing Cadiz's intention to retreat. Li Chu naturally wouldn't stay in the backcourt anymore. After actively moving his position forward, Li Chu would also participate in the attack more often. When the game time came to 19 minutes, Cadiz's big foot came to Nika's feet. Nika sent the ball to Li Chu at the first time. This foot was given enough in advance. As Li Chu speeded up, he also came to the front of the ball at the first time. Before the defensive players came up, at a distance of about 12 meters from the center circle, Li Chu made a long pass on the right side of the front court. As a result, the ball drew an exaggerated arc in the air, after bypassing 7 Cadiz' defensive players directly, when he came to the center of the Cadiz penalty area, he began to fall. Dos Santos was double-teamed by 2 Cadiz defenders on the left and right. He caught the ball immediately, without waiting for the ball to land. Facing the ball, Dos Santos jumped high. With a powerful lion's head shake, he sent the ball into the Cadiz goal. Again, that's it, Dos Santos kicked with his head and feet. From the 4th minute to the 20th minute, he completed a hat-trick. And with this goal, the subsequent game became garbage time. Villarreal didn't want to kill them all, and Cadiz, there was no intention to fight. After seeing that both sides had no desire to play, when the game time came to the 90th minute, the referee of this game, Lawrence, did not give a minute of stoppage time at all. The whistle of the end of the game was blown directly. Villarreal also won the game with a big score. Came to the 2nd place in the standings. The 1st place is Real Madrid. In the game against Espanyol, Real Madrid finally won with a score of 5-1, although it did not become the first in the league, but the Libyan Real still made a good start that satisfied everyone. After the game, Dos Santos became the best player of the game and stayed for a brief interview, facing the compliments of the reporter. Dos Santos smiled and refused. In this game, you completed a hat-trick. Does it mean that you have any ideas about the Golden Boot this season? Ha ha ha. As long as it can helping the team win, the Golden Boot is not the most important. Besides, you shouldn't ask me whether you can get the Golden Boot, but ask my good partner, Li Chu. As long as he is willing, Uche will also have a chance. After hearing what Dos Santos said, the reporters now are all brightened. Indeed, if it weren't for Dos Santos' hat-trick, Li Chu would definitely be the best of the game. Even many reporters at the scene, Li Chu is definitely more worthy of the best of the game. At this time, hearing Dos Santos praise Li Chu so much, everyone's inner thoughts are the same. Brother, if you can say it, say more. It's really too strange for Li Chu who suddenly appeared. All reporters are too unfamiliar. However, at this time, Carlos came to be the villain. Seeing that his players were still surrounded by reporters, Carlos was naturally quite dissatisfied. Ladies and gentlemen, the interview is over. What our hero needs at this time is to take a hot bath quickly, otherwise there will be a risk of catching a cold. After hearing Carlos' dissatisfaction, in the end, the reporters left unwillingly. There is no way, although they were very unhappy with Carlos's words. After all, a cold in the summer. You can't be so careless to deceive ghosts, right? But at this time, everyone still left wisely, because everyone is looking forward to the subsequent press conference. I hope that Carlos, who is in a good mood, can reveal more information about Li Chu. And at the press conference, sure enough, when Carlos sat down, although he brought along Dos Santos, but at this time, all the reporters' questions, more focused on Li Chu, faced with such a situation. Whether it is Carlos or Dos Santos, in fact, it is not surprising. It can be said, the game was able to win so easily. It is all Li Chu's credit. It would be strange if these reporters did not ask Li Chu, but, when I think of Velacho's explanation, in the end, Carlos chose to deal with all Li Chu's questions in a muddy way. Li is only 18 years old. I hope you can protect him well. Don't let him contact reporters too early. This is crucial for Li Chu's growth. And Carlos also felt the same way. How many so-called golden boys did not realize their talents in the end? How much role did the media play in this? Chapter 33. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Villarreal, Carlos and Vallejo protected Li Chu, so naturally, the reporters didn't dig out too much, but, never underestimate the spirit of the paparazzi. How could the media let go of a superstar like Li Chu who suddenly appeared? 18 years old, he dominated the game in his first appearance for the senior team. Handsome looks, he also has an oriental face that is quite talked about, so, the entire Spanish media naturally took the initiative to dig into Li Chu at the first time. What? Li Chu is actually from the Castilla youth training camp. Zidane recommended Li Chu to Ancelotti, but was directly ignored. Li Chu is a player from Yen country. He came to Castilla for exchange and study because of business cooperation. In the end, he was favored by Zidane and was able to stay. With the reporters digging deeper, less than half an hour was left before the end of the game. Li Chu's basic information was quickly mastered by such omnipresent reporters, so, reports about Li Chu naturally appeared in many media reports. and that's not all, because the match between Real Madrid and Espanyol was 1 hour later than the match between Villarreal, so when the Real Madrid match was over, there were fearless reporters asking questions to Ancelotti. Mr. Ancelotti, first of all, congratulations to Real Madrid for getting off to a good start this season, and it was a big win that made all the fans very satisfied. Thank you. And Villarreal, who kicked off an hour earlier than Real Madrid, finally defeated their opponent 3 o'clock under the leadership of Li Chu, a young player from Castilla. As far as I know, Zidane recommended Li Chu to you, but you refused. What do you think of Li Chu's performance in his first professional game? Ancelotti, who was originally in a good mood because of the big win of the players. After hearing the reporter's words, he couldn't help but frown. Li Chu. What the hell is this? Oh. With the reporter's prompt, Ancelotti finally had a little impression. It seems that Zidane recommended a young player to him before the season started. At that time, Zidane even said, with this kid, can Real Madrid guarantee that the midfield will be worry-free for the next 10 years? At that time, with the new season about to start, I had just taken over the stall left by Mourinho. Where would I have time for that kind of rising star? You know, Real Madrid's head coach, definitely the most difficult one among all the top clubs in the world. So in the end, I rejected Zidane. After figuring out what was going on, now looking at this reporter, Ancelotti naturally understood the sinister intentions of this guy in front of him. Do you think I'm a child who doesn't know anything? Li Chu's performance is indeed quite eye-catching. But I still stick to my opinion. He is not worthy of Real Madrid now. Hearing Ancelotti's words, the reporter's eyes lit up. But, under the leadership of Li Chu, Villarreal finally won the opponent by 3 goals. So what? Real Madrid beat Espanyol 5-1. As for Villarreal's opponent, it was just a newly promoted Cadiz. After saying this, Ancelotti left impatiently. Although there were still many questions to ask, the reporter was quite satisfied watching Ancelotti leave. That's all. It was enough for him to write quite explosive news. On the other side, Li Yang is a Spanish student. It has been 2 years since he came to Spain. For life in Spain, Li Yang is most satisfied with the strong football atmosphere here. As a senior football fan who has fallen in love with football since he was 7 years old, the biggest gain from his 2-year study abroad in Spain is that he met a group of fans who have the same hobbies as himself, and they discuss football together when they are free. The only thing that makes Li Yang a little regretful is, in the 5 major European leagues, so far, no Yen country player has been able to become a main player in the team. Li, the savior you've been thinking about has really appeared. Li Yang, who had just finished work, was teased by his friends who were taking a break today. However, listening to their words, Li Yang was a little confused. What's going on? As a result, when his friends took out after the fresh media reports, the whole person opened his mouth wide. Li Yang had only one thought in his mind at this time: impossible. An 18-year-old young player, directly starting in the Villarreal first team. Even in his first game on the professional field, he directly contributed an assist hat-trick. Looked at the newspaper in his hand, then looked at the smiling faces of his friends around him. Li Yang couldn't help but doubt, is this report a prank by his friends? But, deep in his heart, he still hoped that all this was true. Not in the mood to chat with friends, Li Yang hurried back to his residence, turned on the computer and checked Villarreal's official homepage. As a result, when he saw, the guy wearing the number 11 uniform really had black hair, black eyes and yellow skin like himself, the whole person couldn't help but tremble. When Li Yang finished watching the full match between Villarreal and Cadiz, he couldn't help but cheer. Half-time. It was just the first half. Li Chu helped the team score 3 goals. As for the second half, it was obviously garbage time. Li Yang believed it. If Villarreal still insisted on attacking, with Li Chu's ability, Li Yang couldn't imagine how many goals he could score in this game. Although Cadiz was a newly promoted team, Li Yang couldn't imagine it. After all, this is La Liga. Awesome. Li Chu is awesome. Soon, Li Yang quickly logged into his own account on the domestic football website Football 8. Surprise! Yen Gua teenager becomes the starting main force of a strong La Liga team. Yan Guo teenager, who stepped into professional football for the first time, performed an assist hat trick in the first half of the game. Yan Guo's Beckham. The Yan Guo boy from Villarreal knows the style of football 8, so Li Yang instantly became a headline party, instantly attracted the attention of countless Yan Guo fans. Level 4 trumpet. Obviously a water experience post, let him sink quickly. The original poster is a headline party. Identification completed. Experience +3. Farewell. Chapter 34. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, it was lunchtime in Yen country, so many bar friends were bored and browsing the posts of Football 8 after lunch, and Li Yang, the title dog, naturally, it attracted countless people's attention at the first time. However, when everyone clicked on the post, they found that there was nothing in it, so there was the scene above. At this time, Li Yang was still busy editing the wonderful moments of Li Chu in the game. When Li Yang finished editing and was ready to upload it, as a result, he was depressed to find that his 3 posts actually had thousands of replies. Of course, facing the empty posts, almost everyone was complaining that Li Yang was just gaining experience. Is the OP still here? If there are pictures, there is truth. If there are no pictures, what's the matter? Waiting for the OP to upload the latest news. Hurry up. If it is a post to gain experience, I will report it to the OP. Fortunately, some people are really waiting for Li Yang to upload the information. Li Yang didn't waste any words, he uploaded all the things he had edited. Among them, not only Li Chu's 3 assists, even the shots of Villarreal striker spitting the pie were uploaded together. In these wonderful shots, Li Chu turned into a world-class midfielder. Almost all of the assists he sent were as accurate as a scalpel. Watching the football kicked out from Li Chu's feet, it drew a beautiful arc. And the landing point was fatal and accurate. Directly, the striker who received the ball didn't even need to adjust, he could shoot directly at the ball. Instantly, Li Yang's post became popular. Very quickly, the comments under the 3 posts exceeded 30,000. You know, this is not a holiday, it's noon on a weekday, many people habitually come here after get off work in the evening. In just a short time, there are more than 30,000 replies. Li Yang is naturally very happy. The level of my Football 8 account can finally be upgraded soon. What can I do if I am not educated? I can go all out with one sentence. This young player is quite good. Original poster, what is the name of this young player? I don't believe it. I don't believe that the players of Yen country can play such a coquettish pass. Damn. Look at the pass during the second goal. It's like feeding the cake directly into the stomach. I can't vomit it even if I want to. What is the person above thinking? If it's a player of the sea cucumber team, he would have to wash his stomach and vomit it out for you. In addition to these netizens who are discussing, there are also some old fans with great powers. According to Li Yang's suggestion, they quickly ran to the official homepage of Villarreal to confirm. Number 11, Li Chu. Age 18. A superstar introduced by Villarreal from Real Madrid's youth training camp. Really? Li Chu can be a product of Real Madrid's youth training? Fuck. Who can tell me that this is not true? I feel like I'm going crazy. Ah. Not only did he perform well in the adult team, he was actually a youth player of Real Madrid before. What are you thinking about? It's just Real Madrid's youth training. Castilla's youth training level is not La Masia, right? After watching the domestic fans finally accept Li Chu, the superstar who suddenly appeared, Li Yang watched the experience of his account rise rapidly. Satisfied, he closed Football 8 first, hiding his merits and fame. On the other side, Li Chu just returned to his dormitory. As a result, he found that Villacho was already waiting here. Li. Although diligence is your strength. But after just finishing your first game in your professional career, shouldn't you have a good rest? That looking at Li Chu's appearance, Villacho was speechless. It was obvious that this kid went to practice again after the game. Other players didn't want to touch the ball at all except for daily training with the team. And Li Chu? He was so diligent that it was a bit unacceptable. It was just a simple exercise. After all, the second half started as garbage time. The intensity of today's game was not as great as I thought. Li Chu was also very happy to see Li Chu, being in a foreign country. In his first game, Li Chu thought he played very well, he was just worried that there was no one to share his joy. Li Chu came to the door, this couldn't help but make Li Chu happy. What do you think about this? Velocio naturally told Li Chu about Ancelotti's words as soon as possible. Velocio naturally took this news very seriously. If Li Chu's mentality was affected by this matter, it would be very disadvantageous for Li Chu. As for blocking this news, how is it possible? The West is a place with freedom of speech. At that time, even if he and the entire Villarreal did not mention this matter, there will always be some reporters who want to make trouble and tell Li Chu. What surprised Velocio a little was that Li Chu did not answer him. However, when Velocio saw Li Chu's eyes, he said nothing more, because he saw a ball of fire in Li Chu's eyes. And Li Chu's actions also proved Velocio's evaluation of him. This is a very smart person, indeed. In Velocio's view, Li Chu is still far from joining Real Madrid, but Li Chu is only 18 years old, his future, who can say for sure. Vallejo finally left with satisfaction. This kid, he is calmer than he thought, and his mentality is unexpectedly good. In addition to being thankful for Li Chu's calmness, he also felt a little incredible, because Li Chu is mature and doesn't look like an 18-year-old boy at all. After Vallejo left, the originally smiling Li Chu couldn't help but look a little ugly in the end. Just in front of Vallejo, Li Chu was embarrassed to get angry. At the same time, he was moved that Vallejo came to him for such a thing at such a late hour. Although Li Chu's evaluation of himself in his heart, at present, he is indeed not worthy of a giant like Real Madrid. But, just like what Li Chu said to Vallejo just now, others can underestimate themselves, but I must never underestimate myself. Looked at the schedule, in the 7th round of the league, Villarreal will visit the Bernabeu to challenge Real Madrid. Li Chu's eyes instantly turned cold. Real Madrid? I will make you remember me well. Especially you, Ancelotti. Then, Li Chu went to rest. While Li Chu was still asleep, Yen country, it exploded directly because of Li Chu. When night fell, people who had been busy all day could finally have a good rest. When countless Football 8 friends returned home and turned on Football 8, they all widened their eyes. Chapter 35. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Li Chu was still in his sleep. At this time, he had no idea that because of him, Yen country was already boiling. To be precise, the football circle was boiling. With the past few years, the decline of Yen country football has led to football slowly becoming a small circle, and this small circle, today, it was all lively because of Li Yang's post. After countless fans clicked on Li Yang's post, the whole person became excited. Looking through Li Yang's post, countless netizens began to sigh. My great Yen country has finally found someone who can play football. But what made all the fans unsatisfied was, because of the prosperity of the Premier League in recent years, so basically there are only broadcasts of Premier League games in China. If it is an important match, they will apply for live broadcast, and La Liga. Everyone knows that it is a two-person show between Real Madrid and Barcelona, so in addition to the national derby, the rest of the matches were almost ignored, so everyone expressed regret. Just watching the highlights is not enough. They left messages to Li Yang, asking for the next Villarreal match to be broadcast live. The liveliness of Football 8, naturally, it was noticed by those who cared. Football Column Group, He Wei and others are also old users of Football 8. After a busy day, when they returned home and logged into their Football 8 accounts, naturally, they also noticed the 3 most lively posts in the bar. He Wei, who was a little indifferent at first, after reading the 3 posts, the whole person couldn't sit still. Leader. I found an absolutely big news. Monday night, when the latest issue of World Football started, He Wei and Taiwanese flower Ma Fan Shu appeared in the live broadcast room as usual. For this pair, fans naturally laughed and said that this is the combination of Beauty and the Beast, indeed, the male hosts of the channel. They are all handsome individually, but when they stand together with Ma Fan Shu next to them, the first thing that comes to the minds of all the fans is Beauty and the Beast, wife. Here I come. Let go of He Wei, let me partner with you. This leg. TSK. The current ratings of world football are all supported by my wife. As soon as the program started, all the fans of Yen country were naturally excited. Although Yen country's football is not very good, but all the fans have to admit it, whether it is World Football on Monday or Football Night on the weekend, these two football programs are indeed well made. The program is proceeding in an orderly manner. After the highlights of the Bundesliga and Serie A are played, the normal process should be the focus report of the Premier League. Who would have thought? What was beyond everyone's expectation was, for the Premier League matches, Tianxia Football actually chose to play highlights. There shouldn't have been any focus matches yesterday. It should be that there were no strong teams competing in this round of the Premier League, and there were no big scores. Could it be that Tianxia Football is getting more and more perfunctory now? It doesn't even focus on editing and reporting the Premier League. After the highlights of the Premier League section were played, as if knowing what the audience was thinking, Ma Fanshu smiled and talked to everyone. Dear careful old viewers have discovered that there is no detailed report on the Premier League matches this issue, only the highlights were played. Let me tell you, this is definitely not because our column team is lazy, but because, just this past weekend, there was a more important match for our Yen country fans. Said, the big screen behind him also started to scroll the picture, after all the fans heard their wife speak. All their attention was naturally attracted, at this time. Look at the picture on the live big screen. Many people are still confused. But, soon, all the fans' attention was attracted by a figure in the picture, yellow skin, black hair and black eyes. This? After thinking about what Ma Fanshu said, the fans in front of the TV watched with anticipation, and the fans who appeared in the forums during the day were excitedly promoting it to the people around them. Li Chu, our Yen country's young player. Come on, look at this kid's assist cap tricks. The camera in the live broadcast room. Soon it cut to the ceramic stadium. When Li Chu appeared in the camera, Wei's voice also appeared at this time. Villarreal's only new player this season is Li Chu, an 18-year-old young player from our Yen country. This game is Li Chu's first professional game. As a result, he directly became the starting midfielder of Villarreal. After hearing Wei's words, all Yen country fans naturally cheered up. This kid is a player from our Yen country. With the start of the game, the subsequent screen only had the original sound of the entire game, and Wei and Ma Fanshu stopped talking, and the fans of Yen country widened their eyes at this time, want to see how their compatriots perform in the La Liga. As the game progressed, soon, the camera of the game was given to Li Chu, and Li Chu's performance was slowly seen by all Yen country fans. We saw it, blitzkrieg. It was only a few minutes after the start, Li Chu's first pass directly penetrated Cadiz's defense, 1:0. When seeing this, almost all Yenghua fans couldn't help but shout in front of the TV, beautiful. And when the second goal screen appeared, looking at Li Chu's soul-stirring pass, everyone went crazy. Is this the kind of football that Yenghua players can play? Damn! And when the third goal appeared, all Yenghua fans, they were conquered by Li Chu. This kid. Where did this god come from in Yen country? Strongly request that the channel broadcast all Villarreal games in the future. From today on, I am a die-hard fan of Li Chu. Li Chu's 30-year-old fan came uninvited. In this game, I can only say that Li Chu showed his normal level. A 30-year-old fan. Li Chu is only 18, okay. Backstage, the director watched the ratings of the program play out after the Villarreal game started. It directly presents an upward trend of almost 90 degrees. I almost laughed like crazy. You know, the last time such exaggerated data appeared, it was the report of the Asian qualifiers when Yenghua football entered the World Cup. You know, this was already in the distant year of 2002, I can only say, the appearance of Li Chu gave all Yenghua fans a torch in the dark night. Just like that, while still sleeping, while I didn't know it yet, Li Chu has become popular in Yenghua. Chapter 36. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The next morning, when Li Chu just woke up, he found that Villajoy had appeared in his dormitory. He looked at the watch, 5:40 in the morning. What's going on? You mean, you didn't sleep all night, and you were almost always dealing with business cooperation calls from companies in Yen country? After Li Chu heard what Villajoy said, he was stunned, although he thought that if he succeeded in studying abroad, he would definitely become popular in China, but what Li Chu never expected was, it was just one game. Just one game, there was news about him in the distant Yen country. And now countless companies are flocking to him, wanting to negotiate business cooperation with him. Looking at Villajoy's deep dark circles, Li Chu was very sorry. Alan, I think even if there are commercial contracts now, I believe these contracts are very small. I personally don't want to accept endorsements at this time. What do you think? But when saying this, Li Chu was still very embarrassed. Because of him, Villajo didn't sleep all night. Now he has turned down these endorsements. This means, Villajo worked all night. In the end, there was really no income. This is a very depressing thing for an agent. Who knows? After hearing what Li Chu said, Villajo was not angry. On the contrary, he also gave Li Chu a thumbs up. Li, you are so mature. I was originally worried about how to persuade you to give up these endorsements. After hearing what Villajo said, Li Chu was very surprised. It was the first time I heard that an agent asked his employer to turn down an endorsement contract when signing it. Is this a matter of money? Afterwards, Villajoy explained to Li Chu. As long as you maintain your current level, a lot of big-name endorsements will come to you to sign contracts in the future. Signing these small contracts now is a pure waste of time for you. This little storm just passed. However, after thinking about it, Li Chu still recorded a video and gave it to Villajoy. This is my greeting to the fans of Yen country. Please find a chance to put it online for me. No problem. As I said, you focus on playing football and leave the rest to me. After hearing Villajoy's words, Li Chu really devoted himself to training. After the last game with Cadiz, Li Chu also has a deeper understanding of his current ability in the professional arena. It may be because of his playing style, so when facing Cadiz, whether it is protecting the ball, eating the ball, dribbling and passing, etc. Li Chu feels that he is fully capable of dealing with the current game. As for defense, he looked at his pitiful value of less than 60. Li Chu also knew that defense was his weakness. Fortunately, Carlos trusted him very much, so in the arrangement of positions, his range of activities was quite large. From the center circle to the opponent's penalty area, he could run as he wanted, and after he went forward, the gap left behind, Carlos also specially arranged a central defender to help him defend. I have to say, Carlos's arrangement made Li Chu feel really comfortable. Because of this, his poor defensive ability can be infinitely reduced. In Carlos' words, you kid just go forward and attack boldly. As for defense, you don't need to worry about it at all. But when he thought of this, Li Chu made a decision on his short-term attribute points. Now his ability is absolutely qualified as a midfielder, but my personal scoring ability is still relatively poor, so, after thinking it over and over again, Li Chu decided to give priority to improving his long-range shooting ability. He checked his current shooting attributes: shooting power 80. Shooting accuracy 78. Shooting skill 74. Among these items, the shooting power has reached a value of 80. This value is completely sufficient. At least the football kicked out will not be confiscated by the goalkeeper because of the slow speed. And the shooting accuracy is 78, although this value cannot be considered very high, but at least it is not far from the average line of 80 for professional teams. Just shooting 74 is a bit uncomfortable. Of course, this shooting skill is actually a large category. There are also comprehensive attributes such as the ability to shoot in front of the goal, the ability to shoot at close range, and the ability to shoot from a long distance. Now Li Chu is only considering his long-range shooting ability. As for the others, I will not consider them for the time being. After looking at his long-range shooting ability, Li Chu was surprised to find that his long-range shooting had a value of 83. So high. Of course, since the long-range shooting is so high, the other items are probably a bit unbearable. After thinking about it, Li Chu thought, it is probably because of the skill of Tianyi Feixian, so his long-range shooting has such a value. This is good, because I have only completed the first professional league so far, so the attribute points accumulated are not many. When Li Chu used all the attribute points to improve the long-range shooting ability, the long-range shooting ability finally reached 88 points. This value. It was really scary. It means that in the future, I will be very threatening in terms of long-range shooting. He looked at his long-range shooting again with satisfaction. Li Chu was finally relieved. As for why Li Chu was so anxious, the reason is also very simple. That is, after the last game with Cadiz, future opponents will definitely pay attention to me. If I don't have the ability to score directly, then the opponent's defense against me will naturally be much easier in the future. In this way, the threat brought by my pass will make the opponent more relaxed in defense, and it will be different. After I have the ability to score directly, when I bring the ball to the opponent's half, the opponent must arrange players to mark me. This will leave more space for other teammates. Only in this way can the entire offense be considered complete. Sure enough, in the following few days, after Li Chu showed several long-range shots in the training match, Carlos was even more excited. Before, he was afraid that Li Chu's long-range shot during the trial was more of a magical shot. He was afraid that Li Chu's long-range shot was not as powerful as he imagined. But now, Carlos is finally relieved. Such a comprehensive Li Chu, it is simply the greatest gift God has given him. Chapter 37. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When Li Chu was still working hard to practice long-range shooting skills and accumulate attribute points, the distant Yan country, after a few days of fermentation, now Li Chu has become the darling of the internet. With the broadcast of Tianxia football, Li Chu successfully became a hot topic among the fans in Yan country. The result is very coincidental. In the just concluded Asian Cup group stage, the Yan country national football team finally lived up to expectations with 1 win, 1 draw and 2 losses in 4 games. Because of the goal difference, it ranked third, failed to qualify for the group stage. When the same topics related to football were put together, Li Chu naturally became popular. Countless netizens joked, Yan country will never have a player like Li Chu. As for the Yan country national football team, are these sea cucumbers worthy of being called the national football team? For a while, the Football Association was once again pushed to the forefront. Regarding this, the Football Association has long been accustomed to it. Inside the Football Association, a daily meeting is also being held at this moment. Regarding the defeat in this Asian Cup and the sudden appearance of Li Chu, everyone is discussing the relevant issues. We didn't even qualify for the group stage in this Asian Cup. How should we explain this result? The person who spoke, he was one of the officials who had accompanied Li Chu and other young players to Madrid for trial training and cooperation. This time, Director Wang also presided over the on-site meeting. Regarding this, I will contact the AFC as soon as I go back. I promise that this situation will not happen again in the future. Hearing the report from the people below, Director Wang nodded in approval. Indeed, I always thought that the Yan country national football team was lame, but at least it was a small Asian Cup. Qualifying for the group stage is not a problem. Who knows, what are these players now? Remember, the cost of managing relationships will still be charged to these national team members in the future. They are so incompetent that we can't pay for it. I understand, Director. Then, Director, how do we deal with the public opinion about not qualifying for the group stage this time? How else can we deal with it? Aren't those people who don't understand football just making a fuss? They only know to blame the national team for getting worse year by year. Why don't they think about it? Who is willing to send their children to play football from an early age instead of attending cram schools? Yanguo football is now in a low period of transition. Everyone, don't be depressed because of this small defeat. Yanguo football needs everyone. Director Wang's words naturally won warm applause from the audience. Yes, the director is the director. Look at the problem thoroughly. This bunch of unruly people. They only know to send their children to various cram schools. They have never sent their children to football interest classes. There is a direct break from youth training. Do you still expect the national team to achieve good results? Director, there is another thing I need to ask you. Say. It's like this. I am responsible for online public opinion management here. Recently, a young player suddenly appeared on the internet and became the starting midfielder of an unknown team in the La Liga. Moreover, in the first round of the new La Liga season that just ended, this kid performed quite well. First, this kid is not registered with our football association and is not one of us. Secondly, because of this kid's performance, compared with the defeat in this Asian Cup, the public opinion is now more dissatisfied with us. May I ask how to deal with this player? While reporting, he distributed the information he had sorted out to everyone present. When Director Wang saw Li Chu's name, after thinking for a long time, he finally remembered. Oh. It turned out to be the kid who was sent to Real Madrid? If it wasn't for the fact that Real Madrid bought out Li Chu for only €100,000, How could Director Wang have any impression of this little jerk? Do I need to teach you this little thing? Same as always. Understood. That night, all netizens in Yan country suddenly discovered something, that is, under all the posts discussing Li Chu, countless trolls came in and started to blacken Li Chu. What is the future of Yan country football? Isn't it just an ordinary league? Who hasn't had a highlight moment? You can't even not let us eat dumplings during the Chinese New Year, right? With a newly promoted team with such a performance, maybe the club specifically asked Li Chu to improve his stats so that he can come to Yan country to play exhibition matches to make money next summer. That's it. That's it. Just 3 assists. Can this be praised to the sky? Who among the national team's midfielders can't do this? Is it a rich second generation who hired people to create momentum in China? With this level, didn't you see that both sides played like a joke in the second half of this game? It's obvious that both sides played a fake match to cooperate with him. In almost a very short time, under all self-media articles about Li Chu, full of similar comments, such a situation, Li Chu was once again on the hot search in Yan country. Is he really a future star, or a hype farce? Very quickly, there was this topic about Li Chu. It was also sent to the first place in the hot search at the first time. Countless netizens naturally joined in this discussion, just faced with the unreasonable words of the trolls. Although the real fans were extremely angry, however, more fake fans were successfully driven by the water army. It should be hype, right? I went to watch this game. In the second half, it was obvious that both sides played very poorly. I'm afraid it was not a rich second generation who hired someone to play a fake match. Where is the brain above? This is La Liga. 5 major leagues, where does the fake match come from? Do you think this is in Yan country? Why is it gone? How long has it been since the phone door in Italy? The World's Football Association is just as black, right? People who originally wanted to help Li Chu refute, hearing these fake fans talking about the phone door. In the end, they were so frustrated that they couldn't speak, and seeing that they had made the other party speechless, the fake fans naturally became more excited. For a while, the identity of Li Chu as a rich second generation became more legendary, what the illegitimate son of a certain real estate developer. What the third generation of a certain red family. Anyway, whatever is so mysterious, spread it. Very quickly, there was a big deviation in the evaluation of Li Chu in China. After seeing this result, the Football Association was naturally very proud. Since you, Li Chu, have the agreement we signed at the beginning, but it's better to bypass this topic and not discuss it. Directly question your level, see what you say. For the people of the Football Association, they don't believe that Yan country can produce a player with the strength of a starting midfielder in the top 5 leagues. Chapter 38. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There was a discussion about Li Chu. It quickly spread to Spain, because many bored people, they even went to Villarreal's official website to leave a message, asked whether the introduction of Li Chu was to expand the Yan country market. For such rumors, Villarreal club naturally launched an investigation at the first time, and the result of the investigation, it made Villarreal club stunned. Treating talents from their own country, shouldn't they be treated as treasures? Especially in a football kingdom like Yan country. What's going on? Look at the current online public opinion in Yan country, it's more like criticizing Li Chu. Soon, the club notified Li Chu himself of this matter. What? Do you mean that someone is blackmailing me in Yan country? And this wave of rhythm is still very fast. After hearing the words of head coach Carlos, Li Chu was also stunned. What's going on? Didn't Vallejo tell me 2 days ago that he was famous in China? Countless sponsors came to him. Soon, Li Chu also understood the details of the matter, the sudden change in public opinion, the defeat of Yangua's national football team in the Asian Cup, the praise for himself on the internet before. Several things seem to be unrelated, but, for Li Chu who knows the nature of Yanghua Football Association, after these things are combined, the matter is very clear. Forget it, boss. Don't worry about this matter. As long as I keep my current performance in the next game, it will slowly pass. But, when saying this, Li Chu's heart is quite uneasy. This matter, seeing that the big guys in the Football Association are making trouble again. Although I am very familiar with their nature, but after the matter really fell on me, Li Chu still felt very uncomfortable. There is such a group of troubles. When will Yen country's football get better? Coming back to his senses, Li Chu also laughed at himself. He was just an ordinary person. How could he change this kind of thing by himself? Since he couldn't change the world, he could only do his best first. Soon, the second round of the league is coming. Li Chu was naturally looking forward to it. After all, he had just strengthened his long-range shooting ability in the recent period. He originally felt that the usual training matches were not enough. It just so happened that the league had a new opponent. He looked at the match list. Li Chu also laughed. The opponent was an old friend, Sevilla. For Sevilla, Li Chu instinctively felt quite familiar. He became famous in one battle. It started with stepping on the genius Kyle of the Sevilla youth team. He was about to play against the Sevilla first team. Li Chu is looking forward to it. What good performance can he have by then? On the other side, Carlos and his coaching staff have already started to study this game after the match with Cadiz. Unlike Li Chu, when he saw that the opponent was Sevilla, Carlos and the entire coaching staff saw that the opponent was Sevilla. Their faces were not very good. In recent years, when Villarreal faced Sevilla, it was almost difficult to get out of it unscathed. In the 6 league matches in the last 5 seasons, the result was 1 draw and 7 losses. It can be said, in the last 5 years, Sevilla has almost become Villarreal's victim. In the past few years, in the Champions League, the 2 La Liga giants Real Madrid and Barcelona have shown considerable strength, and in the Europa League, Sevilla can almost be said to be on the verge of monopoly. Some netizens have even jokingly called the Europa League the Seville Cup. This shows the overall strength of Sevilla, even if it is not at the level of European giants, but it is definitely the strength of a first-class European team. As for Villarreal, in the 12-13 season, it was transferred to the second division to struggle. In the 13-14 season, that is, last season, it finally returned to the first division again. The final result of last season ranked 6th. If it had not been double-killed by Sevilla, the team might have been able to enter the Champions League zone. It's not like now, they can only fight hard in the Europa League. The coaching staff is almost going bald recently. The morale of the team is not very high, because in the current team lineup, except for Li Chu, a newcomer, the rest are all old players from last season. For the next match against Sevilla, everyone is not very excited. This is also the main reason why the atmosphere is very dull during training in recent times. Santos, what's wrong with everyone? The atmosphere of the team is abnormal. Li Chu has noticed this a long time ago, but I don't understand why. After all, they just got off to a good start in the season. Shouldn't they be excited at this time? How can this look like they just won the game? It's more like Cadiz after losing. Li, we're going to face Sevilla in the next game. Yeah. So what? What's wrong? In the past 5 seasons, except for the season when we were transferred to the second division, we didn't win against Sevilla once in the other seasons. Hey! What did I think it was? Wouldn't it be good if we win this time? That's true, but Sevilla is better than us. Li Chu was unhappy when he heard what Dos Santos said. What do you mean Sevilla is better than us? Although this is indeed true, but the game hasn't even started yet. You're all like this. Isn't this just handing 3 points to the opponent? That was because the team didn't have me before. Now that I'm here, I, the nemesis of Sevilla, will lead you to a big victory. No choice. Li Chu could only flatter himself. Sevilla nemesis. What's that? Sure enough, after hearing what Li Chu said, suddenly, a bunch of people gathered around Li Chu. After all, when everyone heard that the opponent was Sevilla, they all felt a headache. As a result, Li Chu could be the nemesis of the opponent. Hee. Don't you know? I became famous in the game against Sevilla. So, Li Chu began to brag to his teammates around him, how he performed when facing Sevilla, although it was only Sevilla's U18 team, but it still made his teammates feel amazing. They kept praising Li Chu for being awesome. Seeing that the atmosphere of the team finally improved a little, Li Chu also smiled bitterly. It seems it's not just Yanhua football that has a fear of South Korea, even European teams have a bad habit of fearing someone. Chapter 39. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon, the second round of the La Liga is here. Fortunately, this round is against Sevilla. Villarreal is playing at home. The focus of this round of the league, it is the match between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid at home in Catalonia, but the highest ratings at present are actually the Villarreal match. The most fundamental reason is, after Li Chu suddenly appeared, CTV5 finally decided to apply for a temporary live broadcast of this match, at the same time, starting from Friday, in the daily sports news program. This was promoted in both the noon and evening time slots. Regarding the public opinion in Yen country, CTV5 naturally knows. Moreover, this obvious rhythm, they, the football practitioners, can naturally see what is going on at a glance, and unlike others, all the employees of CTV5's football section, but they know Li Chu better than the audience in Yen country, so they showed greater expectations and confidence in Li Chu. Didn't the Water Army say that Li Chu was just an accident? Didn't they say that Li Chu bribed both sides of the game to deliberately brush up the data? Then, let's take a good look at how Li Chu performs. Especially, this game is still against Sevilla. With the good results of Sevilla in the Europa League in the past few years, Yen country fans are more recognized for Sevilla's strength. If Li Chu still has a brilliant performance in this game, then, at that time, the posts of the Water Army on the internet that slander Li Chu will naturally fall apart. So, there was such a sudden move to live broadcast the Villarreal game. Yen country paid a lot of attention. Naturally, it attracted the attention of La Liga officials. With the recent years, more and more leagues have focused on developing the Far East market, as the largest and most powerful consumer region in the Far East, Greater China. The La Liga Football Association naturally attaches great importance to the market of Yen country. So, the two gold medal commentators who were originally scheduled for the focus match between Atletico Madrid and Barcelona were directly sent to the Ceramic Stadium of Villarreal. Regarding the arrangement of the Football Association, the two commentators naturally did not understand, but they had to accept it. Chris, what does it mean that the higher-ups arranged for us to comment on the match between Villarreal and Sevilla? Sure. I heard it. I just heard it. For this match, Yen country applied for a live broadcast. I heard that there are more than 200 million people watching in Yen country alone. Hiss. Hearing his partner's words, Ralph was completely stunned. What? What did you say? 200 million people. Are you sure it's 200 million instead of 20,000? But, when I think of Yen country's terrifying population base, in the end, the eyes of the two people were full of light. As for the reason why Yen Guo applied for live broadcast, both of them who had made sufficient preparations before the game understood, because in the Villarreal lineup, an 18-year-old Yen Guo player qualified, and in the first round of the league, he performed quite well. Soon, the time came to 8 o'clock in the evening, because the La Liga usually starts in mid to late August every year, so the early stage of the league was summer. In a high-intensity game like football, in order to ensure that the players will not faint due to dehydration, so the start time of the early league is 1 hour after sunset. At this time, the two commentators have already received the starting list of both teams. Clark is responsible for the introduction of the list of the visiting team Sevilla, and Ralph is responsible for the introduction of the list of the home team Villarreal. On the other side, in the home team's locker room, Carlos is also nervously making the final tactical arrangements in front of the tactical blackboard. I'll emphasize it one last time. This game is all about offense. I believe you all know Sevilla's offensive strength. You can't defend them just by relying on defense. So, I ask you two fullbacks to pay attention to the front cross. Don't be afraid of losing the ball. Don't be afraid of losing the ball. As long as we score more goals than them in the end, then the final victory will still belong to us. Did you hear it clearly? Clear. Very good. Lee. In this game, the team's offense is completely relying on you. Don't worry, boss. I'm the nemesis of Sevilla. Ha ha ha. Hearing Li Chu say this, both Carlos and other Villarreal players laughed. Recently, the title of Sevilla's nemesis that Li Chu casually mentioned at the beginning is now known to the entire Villarreal team. On the other side, inside the Sevilla locker room, everyone was smiling. for this game with Villarreal everyone was quite relaxed, there was no way, the psychological advantage was too great. Similar to Villarreal, this season, Sevilla has not made many changes in personnel. Except for the introduction of a left back, there has been no major action, the team's main lineup, it was almost unaffected. Let me explain again. Everyone remember it. The Football Association has issued a notice. In this game, everyone's actions should be clean. The Football Association is paying close attention to this game. After saying this, the head coach was speechless, it's just Villarreal, as for the repeated warnings from the Football Association. Of course, since the Football Association has made it so clear, if there are any radical actions or dirty styles of play, then not only the players will be punished, even the club will receive special care in the following games. Is it that the Football Association is rectifying the atmosphere recently, that I really can't figure out the reason? Finally, the head coach of Sevilla no longer bothered about this issue. In the live broadcast room of CTV5 channel, at this time, the live picture of the game has been transmitted. At this time, He Wei and Zhang Lu are sitting in the live broadcast room, analyzing this game for the fans in front of the TV. Coach Zhang, what do you think of this game? Haha. In fact, if friends who pay attention to La Liga know that Sevilla has been the victim of Villarreal in recent years, so in terms of strength, Villarreal is not as good as Sevilla. Hehe Emperor Zhang Lu, his signature hehe comes out naturally, watching the two people chatting in the live broadcast room. Countless Yen country fans have already prepared beer, peanuts and spicy duck necks. This game, it touched the hearts of countless fans and pseudo-fans in Yen country. Chapter 40. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It was 8:30 p.m. in Villarreal, with the whistle of the referee Sessler, the second round of the 2014-2015 La Liga season. Villarreal's home game against Sevilla officially began. Hello, fans and viewers across the country. What is being broadcast live here is the second round of the La Liga, the match between Villarreal and Sevilla. I am the host, He Wei. Hello everyone. I am the commentator, Zhang Lu. That with the start of the game, the voices of He Wei and Zhang Lu also rang out, and all the Yanghua fans in front of the TV, at this time, they were all in high spirits. On the field, Sevilla, who won the guessing game, chose the kickoff right. When the referee blew the whistle, Sevilla launched an attack at the first time. Seeing this, the Yanghua fans were naturally not calm. He's coming, he's coming. Sevilla's opening attack tactics are here. Ah! Familiar recipe, familiar taste. This is the opening attack tactic of my great Sevilla. So excited. First time watching the live broadcast of La Liga. Where is that Li Chu? Sevilla's opening has broken through the gates of countless teams in the Europa League. Even if all teams know that Sevilla will attack at the beginning, they just can't defend it. Bullshit, it can't be defended. In the final analysis, it's still the ability gap. When facing Real Madrid and Barcelona, didn't Sevilla also attack? But why didn't they score? Stop arguing. I want to see what the previously praised Li Chu is like. Number 11. I remember He Wei mentioned Villarreal's starting lineup just now. On the field, Sevilla kicked off. The first time, several midfielders started to intersperse and run. The forwards Vázquez and Carlos Fernandez rushed towards Villarreal's half at high speed. After a few back passes by the midfielder, Oscar took the ball and advanced towards Villarreal's half, when the Villarreal defenders pressed forward. Oscar did not stick to the ball. He immediately passed the ball to Gudelj, who was not far away. After receiving the ball, Gudelj did not delay at all. Soon the ball was transferred to the feet of the Dutch teenager De Jong, who was in front. Then, De Jong passed the ball horizontally to Oscar, who was coming forward again. Oscar kicked the ball forward. It hit the empty space behind Villarreal's defense. Fernandez started to move at the moment Oscar passed the ball. Finally, he successfully countered the offside. He received the ball before the Villarreal defenders arrived. At this time, Fernandez has come to the penalty area, directly facing the Villarreal goalkeeper. Just when the Villarreal goalkeeper was still hesitating whether to attack, Fernandez made a cold shot with a small swing, directly penetrated the net. 1:0. There were only less than 2 minutes after the start. Sevilla's first attack directly penetrated Villarreal's defense. Awesome. Sevilla's offensive tactics are really awesome. Is Villarreal too weak? In the attack just now, the people of Villarreal were like wooden stakes and could not move. It was said that the Yen country's young player would take off. Why did he lose the ball at the beginning? I said it long ago, that Li Chu was just a boast. In the past few years, the La Liga teams that can be watched are still Real Madrid, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid and Sevilla. That's it. That's it. How long has it been since the game started? For a while, the audience of Yen country, for this goal of Sevilla, everyone couldn't sit still, a bunch of people stood up, they began to take the opportunity to criticize Li Chu. You made me so excited. If you play like this, I can play too. That Li Chu, he only plays with newly promoted teams like Cadiz. Facing a strong team like Sevilla, there is no such person in the camera at all. On the sidelines, Carlos couldn't help but want to curse at this time. It has been emphasized countless times before the game, Sevilla's opening attack is so domineering, but, in the end, they still lost the ball. Just think about the goal just now. In fact, the players on my side didn't make too many mistakes, but facing a technical team like Sevilla, it's really nothing. Good idea. Frustrated, Carlos could only kick the water bottle under his feet. The commentator on the scene, Clark and Ralph, seemed quite excited at this time. They scored a goal just after the start. For these two people, this game will not be dull. Goal at a 28-second roar. Clark didn't care whether the home fans would be unhappy at this time. Clark liked this wonderful team goal. On the court, Villarreal's players quickly stood in the center circle. For the goal just now, everyone didn't really care. After all, the goal just now, it was completely the result of Sevilla's team cooperation. Almost everyone kicked the ball to complete such an attack. This kind of ball, I can't stop it even if I want to, and Carlos had also reminded us. Before the game, in this game, everyone is fighting for offense. Anyway, the defense is completely unstoppable, so it's better to compete with Sevilla to see who can score more goals. So, at this time, the mentality of the Villarreal players is still quite calm. Soon, Villarreal kicked the ball. It was almost the same start as Sevilla. After the kickoff, Villarreal passed the ball directly back to the defender, then the forwards and midfielders began to run. When the ball came from Villarreal's backcourt to the vicinity of the center circle, the midfielders of Villarreal began to cooperate. Li Chu was the main player to get the ball. He started a wall-to-wall cooperation with the players around him. Soon, the ball was pushed by Li Chu to the top of the arc of Sevilla's penalty area. All this, it's more troublesome to say, but, in fact, it was done in a flash. When the ball came to the top of the penalty area of Sevilla, at this time, the players of Sevilla seemed to have just realized that something was wrong. However, Li Chu would not give his opponent time to react. Almost the same pass as Oscar dos Santos successfully countered the offside, then he shot. Unfortunately, dos Santos pursued the angle too much. In the end, the post next to the goal slid out of the bottom line. Seeing the cake that was sent to his mouth was spit out like this, dos Santos also held his head in disbelief.